live. Oh, okay. You talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, hello,
Cool,
hello.
cool. I'm just hoping that uh, yeah, hoping the one with Chris went well.
Yeah.
Did okay, what is that?
Oh, nicotine pouches.
Okay.
You want one?
No, I seen I was on the golf course and I seen a guy
Oh, okay.
take one and just throw up everywhere.
Oh,
Since then, because everyone's
yeah.
like, oh, because we are both new to like golf, whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like, oh, you want one? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I'll take one too. And they gave it to him.
yeah.
And then as soon as he took it, everyone's like staring at him. He just starts. And I was like, oh no, I'm
Uh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicotine is can't. Oh,
Oh wow, that's
hello, darkness, my
yeah,
old friend.
yeah. It's okay. Keep it rocking.
That's
I
fucking hilarious.
yeah. What was oh
Is it a battery pack?
yeah. I guess my battery pack's dead.
Oh,
I
okay.
have a backup battery pack.
See, very, very.
And also I have these lights up here that
Yeah.
it also works. Uh,
Also, those things are really fucking bright.
right?
Like for their size, even like very fucking bright.
Yeah, I bought I've had like so in 2014 some dude like messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, I'm a Marine and I box as well. Like I'm doing a
Okay.
podcast." And I had no clue what a podcast was.
Yeah.
But I say yes to everything. So he's like, "Would you do my
Yeah.
podcast with me?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I live about an hour away. Could you?" Or he's like, I'm about an hour away. Could you come out here?" I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
He's like,
well.
he's like, "Can I come to your house and do it?" And I was like, I don't understand how you can. I didn't get it. So
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is this podcast thing, and how can we do it anywhere you want?
yeah. So
This doesn't
dude
make any sense.
comes over my place with a travel suitcase full of like electronic equipment, and I don't know who this dude is. Just
Yeah.
like some white dude from Omaha.
Just show cha-chink, and you're like, what's in that fucking box, dude?
He comes into my apartment. He like sets up everything. He ends up being really cool.
Yeah.
And this is back when I was drinking. I was like, "Hey man, this is Sunday night,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to work Monday in Omaha, which is like 4 hours away."
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, "Hey man, do you want to go get a drink after this?"
Yeah.
And so we ended up going out, stay up until like we stayed up until like 4 in the morning.
Oh,
He drove
fuck yes.
straight to work. He's like, "I've got Adderall, I'll be okay." And
dude.
so we stay out, get blackout drunk like 3 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning. I wake up to a note because I just slept on my couch. I woke up to a note like, "Hey, this was my first podcast, not for me. You can have the equipment." And he just left.
What the fuck?
So I had all this podcast equipment.
That is so fucking wild. He's like, I'll drive an hour. He got there, got obliterated. He's like, I fucked up, dude. I need to reevaluate my life.
Yeah.
My fucking god.
So that's what got me into doing podcasts. Like I got all this equipment
Yeah.
when you start doing it. And I was doing podcasts for like 2 years. And then he calls me up one day and he's like, "Hey, I bought all that equipment on my company credit card. I don't work for them anymore. Can I have that back?" I was like, "Yeah." I had it great for 2 years.
Yeah,
And since then, I've just been buying all this like random equipment.
yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, I'll eventually do podcasting or something," and I
Yeah.
didn't. And now that I started, I have so much equipment.
oh yeah. Well, and
Just
that's
dumb stuff I've bought.
that's the thing. Is you're like, oh, I'll buy this for this little thing or that little thing, and then you don't need it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, that is redundant because I have these 3 other things.
Oh, and this cord doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
A lightning cord.
Yep. Yeah,
I-
that's actually pointless now.
I have a bunch of pointless technology. Yeah.
Dude, I first tried to do a podcast back whenever I was still living in Missouri, and a friend of mine did kind of the same thing. She went and bought like a kit off Amazon.
Yeah.
And she's like, it was the start of COVID. Everyone was starting to do podcasts, and she's like, "Hey, can we set this up in your house? Because none of the rest of us that want to do it have any room, but you have a house. It's just you there. You got a spare bedroom." I was like, "Yeah, I'll set up in there."
Hey, you're my lonely friend. With
Yeah.
Nothing going on in your
Yeah.
life.
Hey, bitch, like, so she brought it all over. We spent like 3 days trying to like figure out how to set everything up and make it work. And then she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm really into this. You can just have it." And then I've never heard from her again.
It's a good friend to have.
And I'm like, all right, like,
Yeah.
and then I just gave it to whenever I moved because it was very like good, but like older style technology. Like had a big soundboard and all this stuff, and I was like, this seems very antiquated.
Yeah.
So I just gave it to another comic, and I was like, this is just the passed down
Yeah.
podcast equipment that stays in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, for Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who has it now, but I don't think a single podcast has ever been recorded on it.
Yeah. I've done I did a show in Columbia, Missouri, a couple shows, and I don't remember exactly where it was,
Yeah.
but it was one of those situations where it's like you're just so happy to get stage time,
Yeah.
so you drive all the way out there for not enough gas money.
Yep.
And I was with two other comics, and we had nowhere to sleep, and our plan was, we'll just find someone at the show
Yeah.
who has 3 extra bedrooms. Turns out it is that is not once worked out.
You'll never find that actually.
Yeah. Someone with a home is like, yeah, I'm not gonna let these 3 degenerates into my house.
These 3 random people that are just like, we didn't make plans.
Yeah,
Can we stay with you?
this is our plan.
Yeah. Yeah, it is one of those things that like you can sometimes pull that off with 1 or 2 people and be like, hey, can we like sleep on a couch? But finding something to get 3 bedroom, never,
no,
dude.
It has been. We did a whole like tour in the Midwest of no, we have nowhere to sleep and we can't afford to sleep anywhere. And it's like a couple times, like one dude would go home with a girl, so it's just like 2 of us sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we have to sleep in the car down the block from his house, from her house, so we can
go pick him up in the morning. Yeah.
But it's like that's what makes this fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the very sad thing. Like whenever we were doing tours around Missouri, one of my buddies, he didn't have a vehicle that was legal to drive, so he had just moved closer to downtown. Yeah. So he's like, oh, well then I just don't have to worry about driving. Well, then we start doing these like road gigs. So then he'd just be like, hey, we got to invite this guy on the show because I need a ride, and he lives by me.
Yeah. Bro, why do you think I was on this tour driving Missouri? Yeah. I was the one with the Prius.
Yeah, you're like, I got a car. It's good gas mileage. Yeah,
it was
afford
their
to go
shows.
Places. Yeah.
I was the guy who had the car.
Yep.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, oh, this guy's funny with a car. No, this guy has a car.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, yeah, I guess this works.
Yeah. They probably didn't want me on the show.
Yeah, but hey, fuck them.
I have what I can offer.
I have a car, so.
You have good jokes, but I have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one can hear them if I am not here.
Yes.
So,
how long have you been doing comedy?
So I'm at like 5 years now. Oh. So I did like 3. I did like 3.5 in Missouri. Then I've been down here for like 2.
Okay.
So yeah, Sam.
Did you come down here for comedy?
Yeah. So I got a work from home job. I was originally a diesel mechanic, and I did that. Went to school for that and everything, and then I ended up getting a work from home job like a year into COVID. And I was like, they're like, hey, you can go live anywhere you want. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. It's not going to be in Missouri anymore. Yeah. And all the Rogan stuff was starting to pop off down here. A bunch of them moved. Mothership wasn't open yet. But it was all just kind of like starting to form. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, I need to move down there.
Yeah.
Because like moving to New York or LA was never going to happen for me. Like,
so here's a question. Because I also moved down here for no reason. Yeah. But I chose here for comedy.
Yeah.
And it's like the down 6th Street is popping. There's so much mics here, but it's so oversaturated with just dudes who moved here who've never been on stage before. It's like, Kill Tony's going to be my start. And because there's so many of those people there, it's so hard to get on stage where I just avoid the Austin downtown area. Yeah. So I just feel like I might as well have just been in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, it is one of those things. I think it does give you a little bit of a cheat code whenever you go to other cities. Because you can be like, oh yeah, I'm a comic in Austin.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks that means something whenever, for most of us, it does not. You know, like,
I have an apartment in Round Rock.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're just like, oh, I do comedy on there. You performed a Mothership? I have.
I've been to the Mothership.
I'm not going to say it wasn't on an open mic, but fucking,
I got pulled.
Yeah, I was on the stage, and people laugh, so technically.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's we make a lot on technicalities.
Yeah, well, I feel like everyone lies on every job interview.
Yeah,
that's how you get every job.
Yeah,
you gotta lie a little bit to get. It's the same with comedy. Like you go places and they're like, "Oh, so you?" It's like, yeah, technically, I've performed at Rogan's Club.
Well, if we're talking technicalities, Jim Gaffigan opened up for me once. technically,
Yeah.
he just popped up on a show in Gotham,
Yeah.
and he did unexpected 20 minutes of new material that he
Damn.
said was not going to work.
And it did.
It did not work.
Oh.
None of it worked. He didn't even mind. It was the most comfortable experience where he just bombed
for 20 minutes.
And he's just
and
like,
he's just like, whatever.
It taught me, like, because if that happened, or if there's some silence, I'll like panic or something.
Yeah.
No panic. He's in the pocket. He told everyone these are new jokes.
Yeah.
And like he got off. Like it wasn't funny, but he's funny, so there was still enough laughter.
Yeah.
And he got off, and then I got to go on stage.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, on technicality, I've opened for Adam Ray before.
Okay.
So I like this. Angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was on a show at Shakespeare's whenever they still had like good shows.
Yeah.
And fucking, oh, never mind. So
I haven't been there during the golden years.
yeah, well, so whenever they first started doing shows, they would fucking be packed. And then I don't know how they are every time, but I was on another one recently and no one was there, and I was like, I am very big on whatever the last experience I had at the place is what it always is.
Yeah,
So,
that's how I end up ordering the same thing at a restaurant every time.
yes.
If I have a good experience the first time, I'm like, well, this is the only thing we're gonna order.
Yeah.
But we have other things in the menu. Don't trust it.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this. I like this.
Yeah.
Why would I do anything other than liking this?
Have you had Ike's Love sandwiches?
No.
Ike's Love, it's a sandwich shop. It's like a sandwich sub shop.
Okay.
The greatest sandwiches I've ever had.
Really?
And there's a bunch of vegan sandwiches as well, but
Yeah.
it's like a lot of more meat options.
Yeah.
And it's like the best sandwich I've ever had. And every time I go there, I just have the howling owl or something.
Okay.
And I've had it every location I go to. I have it.
Yeah.
And then I went there about a week ago and it wasn't good.
Oh.
And I don't think I'll ever go again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess this place now isn't good anymore.
Yeah, too much vegan mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You're
Dude, it's
out.
that is literally how I operate on everything.
Yeah.
I have eaten the same thing at every restaurant since I was like 14.
It's because it's the first thing you ordered.
Yeah. Because also now, just anytime I go with my wife, I'm like, I either want a steak or a cheeseburger.
That very simple, man.
Yeah,
See,
like you know.
What I do is I'll bring someone with me
Oh.
and I'll tell them, hey, we're gonna order together and then we're gonna split it, get an extra plate on the side.
That's fun.
That way I can have what I wanted and I
Yeah.
get to also try
Try
what you
what
want. And I'm also gonna tell you what to order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, you should order this, and this will be great to split in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is a dude with a big dick. Only a dude with a big dick. If I fucking told Jay, like, hey, I'm gonna order my food and your food should be like, all right, Toby, we don't need that many onion rings, you fucking piece of shit, okay? Fucking no. How about that?
So no 3 sides of barbecue sauce.
Yeah. But there's ranch drizzled on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I went to a Burger King in New York. It was like 2009.
Yeah.
And I always order, just back when I was eating meat, I would always order 2 extra barbecue sauce,
Yeah.
and extra sweet and sour on the side. And I pulled in the drive-thru, and the lady was like, "That'll be an extra 50 cents." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean extra?" And now there's a bar in Kansas City I would go to all the time.
Yeah.
It was Sharks Bar. Me and my buddy would go there. We would play darts.
Yeah.
And we just order French fries. Sometimes 3-4 orders of French fries.
Yeah.
We don't drink. So we just play darts, order French fries, and
That sounds very fun.
a side of barbecue sauce each.
Yeah.
So loser pays, like best out of 7 games, loser
Yeah.
pays for all the fries that night. And then one day I lost, and I looked at the bill and I saw that they charge us 50 cents for each. So 50 cents for each side of barbecue, and we're ordering 4 of them. So I'm spending $4 in barbecue sauce.
That's bullshit.
So I complained to the manager,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What do we want us to do about this?" And I said, "I'll deal with this myself." And next time I showed up, I brought my own barbecue sauce, and they have my barbecue. So when I go there,
Yeah.
they have my barbecue sauce there.
Yeah.
I was going weekly. They're cool people though.
What is it?
So Sweet Baby Ray's Chipotle
Yes.
raspberry barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
Sounds weird.
I've never heard of
Chipotle
that.
raspberry sauce, bro.
I'm gonna have to try that because I love Sweet Baby Ray's is the superior barbecue sauce.
I love Sweet Baby Ray's, man. You seem like a very quality man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a man of class.
Yes. Sweet Baby Ray's.
Whenever it comes to barbecue sauce, dude,
Yeah.
you look for guys like me.
You look like you know how to barbecue.
Yeah, it's like I think that guy has 2 grills in his backyard.
Yeah, your wife will probably gift you a grill for like
Oh,
anniversary. or
oh,
something.
yeah,
You
for
seem
sure.
like that guy.
For sure, yeah, she's gonna be like, I got you a flat top, so you hit it with the little thing.
Do you hunt?
I not since I've been down here, but yes.
You look like a hunter.
Yeah.
You look like that dude.
Yeah.
Like, you hunt and barbecue.
Yeah. I've hunted a lot of different things, so it's especially like growing up. It's just like what we did as our pastime.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what do we? Was nothing to do.
What's your favorite thing to hunt?
My favorite thing to hunt is ducks, because it's the most chilled out version of hunting you'll ever experience.
I played duck hunter.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's literally that. You're just in the woods.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous, because you literally go out with a group of your boys. You sit next to some water. Either you can like hide in like a little bit of like corn. You can like, some people have like the full little setups where you're like in a little hut, and then you sit there and you chew, and you talk shit, and you drink your coffee and whatever, and then you all kind of look, and then it's like, oh, there's a ducks coming in. You blast them. You send the dog out, and then you just get back to bullshitting.
Yeah.
It's the most relaxed version of hunting of all time.
Do you eat duck?
Yes. Yeah, it's very good.
Okay. I've never had duck, but I've had vegan duck and I didn't like it.
It's because that's not a real thing.
No. Yeah. I
don't know what vegan duck would be, but that's not a thing.
Yeah. I only didn't like it because I was told it was supposed to be vegan duck. I was like, well, I don't think I eat duck.
Yeah.
So not even fake duck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, duck is good.
Is it?
It is very like chicken. Because it's all bird.
Yeah.
So you're eating the breast part.
Yeah.
So yeah. Duck,
titty meat.
Yeah, it's all, who doesn't like titty? You know?
Yeah, it's a little bit of titty meat.
Yeah, say duck, quail is really fun because once again you're just like walking around shooting birds.
Yeah.
Deer hunting's kind of fun. Deer hunting can be fun, or it can be the most miserable thing ever because it's cold as fuck whenever you deer hunt.
Yeah, and then you got to carry it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have strong drones one day. So
you get one of Tesla's robots.
Yeah.
Like, can you pack this thing out of the woods for me? It dies halfway, then you got to carry them both.
Yeah. Man, I've been vegan for like over 10 years, and I was like I became vegan because I lost a bet, had to do it for 28 days.
Yeah.
And I got abs. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna keep this going.
You're like, this is cool.
Yeah. And but it was never for like ethical reasons. It was just like vanity. Yeah. And then I found out some health reasons behind it, but it was never really the animals. And then I got really into the animal parts of it, and I was like, oh, like saving animals' lives and all that. Yeah. And then because I was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be killing animals. And then I hit a deer. I was like, oh well,
somebody needs to kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, we hand out tags.
Yeah,
we hand out tags.
$4,000 of damages for a fucking fawn.
Twice I've hit deers.
Yeah,
in a Prius, 2 different Priuses.
Oh, dude, that totals a Prius, dude. You can't.
I was driving
take on a buck with a Prius. Dude.
I was driving from Dallas to Kansas City, and I hit a deer. I hit a deer in Oklahoma, and the deer came out and then ran back.
Yeah,
it was like a sigh of relief, and they're like, no, I'm just joking.
Yep.
And I hit it. It flew in the air, and I swear to you, while I was in the air, I looked at the girl I was driving with. I was like, that's not vegan. And the comedic timing of it, before it landed, I got the line off, and I felt so good. And then I just saw it like jump off.
Oh yeah, they're pretty tough.
Oh yeah, and it didn't really bother people. Like internal injuries, like no, it was okay. It hit the top of my hood.
Yeah,
and it just indented my hood, jumped off, looked back at me.
Yeah, and it was like, that's all you got, bitch.
I sat in the car. The girl got out the car. She like looked at the damage. She's like, "Do you want to look at it?" I was like, "No."
Get in.
I did. And what was weird is while it was happening, so I was driving like probably 80, and then like maybe about 200 yards up, there was a guy in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
That slammed on his brakes in the middle of the highway. So I slammed on mine.
Yeah.
And after I slammed on mine, that's when the deer did the thing.
Yeah.
So if I did slam on the brakes, I would have hit that deer going 80, and it would have been bad.
Oh yeah.
I probably hit it doing 40. So I was pulled off on the side of the road. The dude reversed when he saw us pulled over the side of the road because we're in the middle of nowhere to check up on us. And the dude, limited teeth, very country. And he's like just making sure he was okay. Super nice guy.
Hey, Bubba, you good?
Bro, that was it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm so grateful you slammed on your brakes, because if you didn't slam on your brakes, this would have been bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, my jacket fell out the window.
My jacket fell out the window. What the fuck does that even mean?
Bro, that was, I didn't, from what I gathered, because I was so shocked by that statement. What I gathered, his jacket fell out the window, so he slammed on his brakes.
He's like, that's a Carhartt back there.
And then he reversed to get his jacket, and that's when he was checking up on me. But he was just so like, his jacket always falls out the window. It had never been a problem for me, but I was like, people out here have real problems in life.
Yeah, fucking, they got jacket loss, dude.
Yeah, I just hit dare.
Yeah.
This dude lost a jacket.
He's like, not the new Carhartt. Becky will be pissed.
Oh man, Becky was in the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my situation with that. So, and I was actually doing a speaking engagement. I do a lot of traveling for speaking, and
Yeah.
when I go to a city to speak, I'll be in Maryland in January 23rd.
Yeah.
So then I reach out to comedy clubs in the area. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, I'm doing a big talk out here, also speaking a lot of schools in front of a lot of teachers.
Yeah.
If you put me on your show, I can sell tickets.
Yeah.
And I don't even want money. I want just the stage time. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it's open.
It sounds like it's open. Yeah, I think that's better.
I think that is.
Yeah.
I think I just didn't shut it.
Yeah. So we're in a van, and because I'm doing these open mics in Kill Tony, you burn 4 or 5 hours,
Yeah.
and have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And you don't even perform. So I'm like, all right, when I start going to mics, doing a podcast is you have a podcast.
Yeah.
You have a couple podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. Some would say 2 minutes.
Yeah. You have just enough podcasts.
Dude, it takes up so much time. It's ridiculous.
I know. So one of the hard parts is scheduling people.
Yeah.
And making sure they show up on time. And
Mhm.
but with the van, it's you just go in the open mic. And
Yeah, and you're just like, hey,
you want to come in the van?
yeah, you want to come outside real quick?
And everyone has been cool so far. So if you're 6 on the list and and they call 6, you're not here.
Yeah.
Whenever you go in, you just go up next.
Yeah.
So comics actually even prefer that.
Yeah.
And then and hoping the audio works on this one.
Yeah.
Then you get clips to post
Yeah.
online, and the whole idea is it's a way better time to spend my.
Yes.
But way better way to spend my time because I've heard everyone's jokes already.
Yeah, exactly.
And also I get to actually, because we've seen each other at
Yeah.
shows and we've done shows, but we never actually got to sit down and actually
have a
connect.
conversation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is my favorite thing about podcasts is you go and you're like, all right, I think this person's cool.
Yeah.
Let's sit down with them for an hour. And then you're like, oh, I'm friends with this
Yeah.
guy now.
Turns out, hate the guy.
That happens sometimes too. You're like,
part of the game.
You're like, all right, well that sucks. And then it really sucks whenever they're like, hey, can I come do that again? And you're like, oh.
We're booked.
Yeah,
We're booked
yeah.
out.
Until when do you die?
Yeah.
The day after your funeral. I could have got you in.
I've got an opening. I've got an opening at your wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring your sister in. I heard she's hot.
Oh, I'm glad my sister's on. Yeah. It's beneficial.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a hot sister?
I have
Don't answer.
kind of no siblings.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
Papa was Rolling Stone. You're starting
Yeah.
to find out some things with 23andMe.
No, I say my brother died whenever I was young.
Okay, let's
So
funny.
but it's so funny to say to people after they're like, "Oh, what does that mean?" You're like, "Well, death." Oh, fuck.
So I'm the favorite.
Yeah. Dude, I like to do that on stage, but it's so it's so aggressive to do. Is I'll be like, yeah, good thing about having a sibling die whenever there's only 2 of you is now I'm the favorite child.
Yeah.
And you can tell people are always like, that's so dark.
Yeah.
It's such a fucked up, and I'm like, I don't know if I can keep it, but every once in a while I do it just whenever I'm like, whatever.
Just test the audience.
Yeah.
Someone had a joke. I can't remember who it was. I might have saw it on Instagram, but it was, he said his brother died of a heroin oopsie. And he's like, it's the only way I can say it where it doesn't come off bad. But my mom, after finding that out, committed suicide, which is a terrible way to find out you're not her favorite. I was like, what?
I think I've seen that one.
It's a great joke.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so good of being like, well, that sucks, and
yeah, a heroin oopsie.
Yeah, a heroin oopsie is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you could have said that joke where my brother died of a heroin overdose, and it's like, you don't even realize that there's an area for a joke.
Yes.
So I'm looking at my jokes now where I have some jokes that are I've pretty much finished. I'm like, but is there a joke within the joke?
Yes.
That I'm skipping over to get to the punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the very nice thing about after you've been doing comedy for some time, is you go and you look back at stuff and you're like, oh, I just didn't know what I was doing whenever I wrote this. And now you have more time under your belt, so you're like, oh, well, now I know where to even go with this.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Or another joke I had 6 months ago that had nothing to do with. Now I can add this on.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, that's actually a tag to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working on sobriety jokes lately, and I'm working on a sobriety chunk. and I've got some good ones, but then I have some sobriety jokes that don't go with anything.
Yeah.
But I'm still holding on to them, and the more I
Yeah.
add on, I'm starting to
Yeah.
find out where they go.
Yeah. Well, and also I think the cool thing about like like a topic like that, like sobriety, is you could eventually, hopefully, build like an entire hour.
Yeah.
Where it's all kind of relating back to this, or even like a half hour where you're like, yeah, they're not all like sobriety jokes, but it's all you can weave everything together. We're like, all right, I have 30 minutes that
Yeah.
all is like this is a chunk,
Yeah.
and that feels so cool. Whenever you're like, oh yeah, I like start here and it goes here, and you're like, oh, and then it's like, oh nope, now we're back.
Yeah.
That's so it's so nice. I
Yeah.
love that shit.
I've got probably a solid where I feel proud of
Yeah,
12 to 15 on
Yeah.
on just drinking and sobriety.
yeah,
And but it's like I'm always looking to be honest in my jokes.
yes,
And then my like one sobriety joke that I'm currently working on, which I've spoken about on a different episode as well. Which I'm talking to comics, so you're gonna hear some of
Yeah,
the same stories.
exactly.
But it's like I'm so good at drinking, I'm retired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one.
And my friends got together and threw me a retirement party.
Yeah,
And which is an intervention, but like I never got an intervention.
yeah,
I had like talking tos.
yeah, yeah.
But-
Guys that were just like,
Oh, bro,
you kind of pissed on my couch and called my girlfriend a cunt last night.
bro, I had my days. And so then it's so I didn't get an intervention.
Yeah.
Then I say the next line of joke is I'm so good at drinking that I meet up in churches with strangers and we share war stories.
Yeah,
So I never went to AA. I did go. I used to go to AA meetings. I don't go anymore because it's not
Yeah.
really for me.
yeah,
And then I'm so good at drinking, I'm sponsored.
yeah,
And like that joke usually gets the biggest pop. I don't
Yeah.
have a sponsor
Yeah.
like AA, but I'm like that's one of the only jokes I have that's not completely honest.
yeah,
Then I go into one of my favorite things to do when I'm drinking is drive.
yeah,
And that used to be legit. That's why I like,
Yeah.
because it's like, how do you know you're supposed to, like, how do you know you had enough?
Yeah.
It's a subjective decision.
Yep,
And it's like, how much do you weigh? What's your body fat percentage? How hydrated are you? When was your last meal? A lot of variables to make a decision on a substance that impairs decision making.
yeah, fucks up your decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
like, that's a chunk I'm working on. I'm excited about it because it's clean,
yeah,
it's honest, and it's relatable.
yes,
And everyone's already drinking, so it's
yeah.
On
Well,
topic.
and it's one of those things that like you could do that in a lot of different crowds of people that like you could get where you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing the show and I have a big swath of your audience that are all people in recovery. Like,
yeah.
because that's the other thing is as you grow, you start getting like fan bases, and sometimes they're not about like. It's weird. Sometimes you're like, oh, how are you a fan of me? And it's like, oh, it's because of this little thing you talk about. You're like, oh, okay, well that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, then that's I don't know. I get so like like nerdy and weird about comedy. It's one of the few things I like really like get into, like all the levels of it,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I think it's also why I am not good at just like set up punchline stuff. Like I'm not a you know.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. Like I like storytelling and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So whenever I see guys that are like really good, like set up punchline, like and that's their whole thing, I'm like, oh, you're talented.
Yeah,
I just know how to tell stories.
So
That's all I do.
And the thing is, you're great with stories. What I'm trying to do with my story is just like he had that heroin oopsie.
Yeah,
It didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
It's like how many of those little short
Mhm.
lines I can put in my story,
yeah,
and then it's no longer a story; it's a joke.
Yeah.
With an outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Because also that's a good way of being like, oh, this is now a solid 15,
Yeah.
and then you can hopefully be like, oh, now it's the starting 15 or the middle 15 or the
That's when you
Yeah.
do the weave.
yeah, dude. The weave is very as our fucking president once said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, now that the election's over, I'm just kind of curious on how what are people going to base their personalities off of
Ah,
now?
dude, it's gonna be something stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever the next thing is gonna be.
'Cause I remember, like, we really cared about Ukraine for a week, and
Yeah.
then, like that was someone's
Yeah,
personality. And it's always something.
it's gonna be the war. That's gonna
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get really sided on the war that happened.
I'm all for it. I'm over 28. I'm not getting drunk.
I'm fat as fuck. I'm not either, dude.
Yeah, you think I'm doing a mile in 10?
Yeah, they're gonna see me later and be like, no.
Nah. Yeah.
Fucking might take down some of this competition around Austin. Dude.
Yeah.
All these skinny little fucks out there running.
Oh yeah. And also all these open micers. All
Yeah.
these young dudes. Yeah, they're
dude.
gonna go off to war.
Yeah,
The
see you
comedy
guys later.
scene is gonna open up.
Yeah,
Shakespeare's mics are gonna be good again.
yeah, they're gonna be over there fighting in the Bolshevik War. Dude.
Yeah. Do they have Wi-Fi there, bro?
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing him doing TikToks.
Yeah. Yo, every time I see nurses doing dances,
It's so upsetting.
my
dude.
dad's in a rehab facility right now after a stroke. So anytime I see these girls doing dances, it's like, yo, go take care of my dad.
Dude, my fucking grandma. I was just home a couple weeks ago. She's in like a rehab. She fell and broke her neck, and
It's in rehab. I hurt my nose.
yeah, yeah, well, you know. But so I went there, and there was just like the nurses were just like chilling on the couches in the waiting area, like playing on their phones, and they're like, "Have a good night." And I was like, "What do you do here?
Yeah.
What the fuck?"
We really celebrated you guys for a few
Yeah,
years.
like, we thought you guys were heroes. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
You're just cheating on your husband?
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing. All sluts. The biggest whores I know in my life are either nurses now or teachers, and I'm like, I don't think you should be around children. You
Yeah.
got gangbanged in high school.
Yeah, she's good with kids.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy as like you, because when I was younger, I watched older people like
Yeah.
deal with situations, and talk about things, and
Mhm.
a lot of older people would constantly talk about their parents being old. And I
Yeah.
was like, is that what old people do?
Yeah.
Old people talk about their parents being old.
Oh yeah.
Because then I'm so young, I think old is when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
And now I'm like talking to people about like your parents being
Yeah.
sick. And like, I was like, oh, life happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I don't have anything else other going on than taking care of my parents that are
Yeah.
fucking old.
Do you have kids?
No, not yet. I'll say probably will have them eventually, but I'm only 25, so
Okay, yeah, you have time. You
Yeah.
locked it up early.
yeah.
Yeah.
Say I early in and out. You know,
Yeah.
I went and found a dumb white woman, and I was like, ooh, I tricked one. Let's
Nice,
keep
yeah.
it.
I've had a bunch of those, bro. They're really nice.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good for
Yeah. She's just smart enough to not realize this is a bad idea that I go out every night and do comedy. Whenever I was like, I have a bad idea for a dream, she's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Don't let her talk to her friends.
Yeah.
So he just goes out and drinks and
Yeah.
smokes with his friends
yeah,
all night.
yeah. He just comes home and all of a sudden the house smells like weed. That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, these neighbors, dude,
Yeah.
they gotta chill out, seeping through the walls.
Yeah. So you have a house?
About to. I'm
About to? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I close tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's almost sent me into panic a few times, but we're getting there. You know,
Is it your first house you're?
this
going?
is my second house. This is my first house to ever own with my wife.
Oh god.
So I bought a house whenever I was 20, back in Missouri.
You're knocking everything out early in life. Like,
Yeah, dude.
bought a house, got a wife. Everything's before
Yeah.
25, bro.
Yeah, dude, all of my buddies back home like own property, are married. My one buddy has a kid. Like everyone I know at 20 is what everyone around here is at like 45.
Yeah.
So it's
I-
very weird.
Are schools empty in Austin? 'Cause it's like
They-
no one has a child.
They must be. Like, they have to be. There's
I-
no way they're not.
Saturdays I do something called adult recess.
Yeah.
A bunch of people from 30 to 50 get together. We play dodgeball and tag. It is. I'm like, does no one have a child?
Yeah, no, dude, none of you guys like have a career.
No.
Like, that's the other thing that drives me nuts about this town is that everyone has a dream. I'm like, who's driving the trucks? You know what I mean? You can't be all fucking Uber delivery drivers, you fucking pieces of shit.
I'm gonna just drive DoorDash until I
Yeah.
figure things out.
Yeah, and you're like, you're 55, Daryl. You're supposed to have it figured out a long time ago.
Bro, I'm on my balcony, so I live in the domain. I'm
Yeah.
on my balcony. I look down at like these Uber driver, like
Oh,
Uber Eats drivers, and they just for like 15 minutes are looking on figure out how to get inside my apartment complex. I'm like, I don't know how much you're getting paid, but it's not enough.
Dude, it's
It
so
is.
it's the army of Uber drivers and fucking DoorDash deliveries that and stickers make up all the
Oh.
GDP of this town.
Oh yeah, yeah. Stickers, yeah.
Every
Yeah.
store you go into, they just have a rack of
Of
stickers.
Who's selling these? Who's
Yeah.
producing the stickers? Oh, Amazon delivery drivers. They're just using all different types of vehicles now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those pull up in a fucking Toyota Corolla. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, you ain't fitting a fucking TV in there.
No, but you get some overnight. I remember Scholastic like books in school.
Yeah,
It would take 6 to 8 months to get things.
yeah.
And I remember like ordering things online. Like when you order things online, you get it in 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
I ordered a book yesterday, and I got it yesterday.
Well, it's because you were the only person reading. You're the last person alive who still reads books, other than all these horny women reading porn.
Oh yeah.
You're the only person reading like a finance book.
Yeah, bro. It was the book is You Are a Badass at Making Money.
Yeah, dude. They're like, somebody get this out right now.
Yeah.
This
We need to make room. We need to make room.
Yeah, we have a lot of horny smut coming in.
Yeah. Do you read?
No, I do audiobooks.
Okay. I wish I could. I've done a couple on drives, but
Yeah.
like if my hands are free, I'm going to text and zone out, and then like, oh man, I gotta press rewind. Like,
Yeah.
15 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And I catch myself doing that. I'm like, oh, let's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I have really bad dyslexia, and so all like growing up, my dad's really dyslexic also. So he told me whenever I was young, he's like, you need to just listen to books. He's like, because you're never gonna read it. Because that's the thing. It's like I'll buy a book and I'll be like, I'm gonna read this, and then I'll start and I'll be like, this sucks.
It does.
I'm done. Where if I just listen to it, I have gotten into the thing where I can like do stuff around the house, or I can go and and I'll just retain it and listen to it well, and which probably also is a downfall to America. Like we're not reading anything anymore.
Here's the thing, like I think because it's only reading is just digesting information.
Yes.
You're just digesting in a different way.
Yeah.
That's like saying like the people are like, oh, the movie is not as good as the book. I'm like, but do I get the plot?
Yeah. Then what does it matter?
Yeah. Did the guy who died at the end die in both of them?
Yeah.
Then I figured it out.
Did I get to see a real life dragon in one of them? Yeah. Then that one was better. Okay.
Yeah. My imagination is not even that good.
Yeah. I didn't sit there and go,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like listening to books, which I think is why I've gotten so into podcasting also, because it's just the same thing.
So I think like a book, when someone's reading it, like an audiobook, I feel like it's just a one-sided conversation, and I never know when to digest it to hear the other side of the conversation.
Oh, you got to get the good ones.
So like a podcast is like back and forth. Also, I think a podcast is better than books, because if you write a book, you can just give me all your dumb opinions and you're never questioned.
Yeah.
But if someone interviews you about that book, you have to start having some answers for some of your stupidity.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? This is what, and then
And if you can't justify, if your words can't stand up to scrutiny, you don't deserve attention.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Which that's Kamala not wanting to do any podcasts.
Dude,
I was like, you can't defend anything you say.
Yeah, it's because she's like, well, I don't know my opinion yet. Somebody else has to make it.
Yeah,
and you can't just free ball ask me things.
And I say that as someone who I know nothing about politics.
Yeah,
I'm like, if you can't talk. For a few hours, it's like you're hiding something. Like you're. It's a straw man argument.
Yeah. She, not to get too far in, but because I look the way I do, so everyone's like, I know what he thinks.
We could have guessed this.
But yes, it's just.
Oh, so you duck hunt? Go ahead, tell me more.
The goddamn lizard people. But yeah, it is one of those things that you're like, how could you not go do Rogan's podcast and just be a person for 3 hours? If she could have just been a human for 3 hours, everyone would have been like, she's not that fucking bad. Yeah. But I think the thing is that she's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can give speeches that someone else wrote.
Yeah. I don't know anything enough about politics, but I do know it's cheering for professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
for sure.
It makes me feel like I'm a part of it.
It's nice and fun being like, fucking
my team.
Off the top rope.
Yeah. But like the Chiefs are good, so I just talk about that.
Exactly.
Small talk.
And also that's way more fun.
Yeah. I took an L last week. I took an L Sunday, but
which that sucked.
Actually, it's good. So here's why. So like before I would if I fought in like a big tournament, like before the Olympic trials, I would lose on purpose.
Really?
Because once you lose, not that I would lose on purpose, I just wouldn't give as much effort to the tournament before that.
Then you're like extra motivated.
Because I get, if you win too much, you get comfortable.
That is very true.
And when I lose before I win, then it's like, I bring it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have a loss, I think they'll come back even stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's the new dynasty, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like it's gonna be the new Brady era. It's just in the Chiefs,
Yeah.
which also is why every time now I say like, oh, the NFL's rigged. It's all. I'm like, no one would have picked the Kansas City
No,
Chiefs
no,
to run the NFL.
no,
Like,
no.
never in a million years.
Yeah,
They sucked for 35 years straight.
yeah,
No, they wouldn't have been like, oh, let's pick out these in fucking Kansas.
yeah. And also, no one thought Patrick Mahomes was that good.
No.
Yeah.
No, they were just like, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it was like, wait, you did what?
Yeah. And
Fucking,
Taylor Swift cares.
yeah, dude. She's like that big old fucking white boy.
Yeah. What's crazy is Travis Kelce makes less money than her cats. Her cats has more money in endorsements than
Yeah.
Travis Kelce makes playing in the NFL.
That's insane. How many more years do you think he has?
I think he has 2 or 3 more years,
Yeah.
if that, because now it's not about money. He's a kept woman,
Yeah.
and secondly, he's has such a big following with his podcast,
Yeah.
and with his brother being retired.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 rings.
Yeah.
Your brother has a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Campbell soup. Your mom's in a commercial.
Yeah.
You can chill now.
Yeah.
Also, CTE's real.
Yeah.
He's gonna murder Kate Taylor
yeah,
Swift.
like, it's gonna be a hell of a Netflix documentary.
Yo,
It's gonna be
Netflix gonna crash again.
it's so hard.
Oh, America's gonna hate Kansas City.
Yeah, city's gonna burn down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that guy
It
has.
smell like barbecue.
Yeah, I think 3 more years, and then he's gonna be like, oh, I'm getting to like be an actor and fuck off and not get hit in the head every day.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he's cool.
Yes.
Like he's cool.
Yeah.
He's date black girls cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been a Travis Kelce fan. He actually when he first moved, he started playing for Kansas City. He was in this apartment complex downtown in Kansas City. And this girl that I knew lived in the same apartment complex.
Oh damn.
She was a kind of a chubbier girl.
Yeah.
And she was wearing a green sweater.
Yeah.
And was on the treadmill. And Travis Kelce was behind her, working out, and then took a snap of her and was like, "Shrek's in my gym." And then someone screenshotted that and then put it on Facebook, and it went viral. And when I tell you, this girl got so attractive. It's a happy ending to that story, right? Didn't see that coming.
Bullying works.
It's so hot.
It's not nice, but it does work.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
The early days of Snapchat, whenever everyone was like, "It's fine,
It'll go away.
it's gonna go away," and then it's like, "Oh wait,
Turns out.
oopsies."
I had an app on my phone that would download the snap before I opened it and save it to my reel.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a fucking thing.
Bro, that's what I speak about at schools.
Yeah.
The long-term impact of a digital footprint.
Yeah.
It's basically, hey, don't send dick pics.
Yeah.
That's because, like, when you're 15, these kids don't understand the consequences of
Oh
repercussions.
yeah.
And no one's talking to their kids about sending dick
Yeah.
pics. So I have a
Dude.
joke about it. It's like, it's job security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're never gonna figure it out because they're always gonna be 15 and be like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. You're just stuck with your dick all the time.
Yeah.
And the joke is, like I said on stage, is the only thing that stopped me from doing that was the price of Polaroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's the thing, because like I was in middle school and high school whenever Snapchat like started. It was literally just for fucking sending it. Like that's all it was.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I was one of the smart guys that was like, no one wants to see my dick.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah.
even if you're dating a chick and she's like, you're like, you don't want to see my dick. Fucking,
I'll find one online and send it.
yeah. Fucking, hey, look at this. That one's impressive, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Why is that black?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I know what you like. I know you're gonna date after me.
Yeah.
I'm a good middleman boyfriend where I go and get you transitioned and ready.
Yeah. You're here for the credit score.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, well, I could, but
Yeah.
this is more fun.
So you've been married for how many years?
A couple months.
Oh, so you're new.
Yeah. So me and my wife have been together for 5 years, but we've only been married for like 6, 7 months.
Okay.
So-
Where'd you meet?
Tinder.
Oh, where 2 matches go to light a flame.
Yeah, dude.
No one knows their slogan, bro.
That's their slogan.
Where 2 matches go to light a flame. Tinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
It's what's so weird is there's so many kids that are being born now. They're
Yeah.
like probably like 10 or 11. It's like, where'd your parents meet?
Tinder. Bumble if they're good.
Yeah, well, they say Bumble, but it's still actually
They're still Tinder.
They were both on. They matched on Bumble,
Yeah.
but they both also matched on Tinder.
Yeah, they just talked on Bumble.
Yeah, there's girls who are like, I'm on Bumble or whatever it is because Tinder's for hookups. I'm like, you also have a profile there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's the same people everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's one intention.
Yes,
We know.
Yeah.
Oh, I might mess up and like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually spend time with you.
Been there, made that mistake.
Yeah. Boom. I think we've been going a little long. How long have we been going? Oh, that's 45. I'm hoping that the audio works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
if it doesn't, I apologize.
dude,
But-
if it doesn't, we'll do it again. It's,
All right.
it's not going to bother me at all, man. This has been
All right.
awesome.
Yeah, man. Also, I'll take any ideas how to make this better. I was thinking of like making it nicer so it doesn't look like a van, but the whole idea is someone's like it should look like a van because it's a van.
I kind of like it looking like a van.
Yeah.
I would say it'd be dope if you had someone paint the inside, but let it still look like a van.
So you think just possibly just like a sign?
Yeah, just do like the name of your show behind you. Like
I don't have a name yet. I'm thinking Van Chats or
yeah, that'd be cool. Like Van Chats or
Van Chats.
I'll think on it. I'm sure I can come up with some idea, but because I'm thinking like, oh, if we do something with like Cam Talks.
So my business is called Awesome Talks.
Oh. Yeah. See, the problem is you're having dirtbag comedians on.
Yeah.
So you might not want too close of a connection.
Yeah. So Matt
just in case.
Matt was
Just
like,
in case.
because I asked him, I was like, well, why didn't? Because I did this with Matt.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't you post videos? And he's like, he was very honest. He's like, you didn't post my videos. And I was like, thank you for
yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, because we're terrible people when we talk together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, because we're just trying to make each other laugh.
yeah. And I can't post any of that. I
Yeah.
speak at schools to middle school.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, look what we saw, Mr. Speaker.
Bro, I have a picture I posted of Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Rick James. Bro, leather outfit, guitar, and I put baby powder all over my face because cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 years old. I spoke at a school, and before I got there, the principal called me. He was like, hey, we had a parent call and said that you had drug use on your social media. And I was like, drug use? And then he sent me the screenshot. And I was like, first of all, he's like, great picture.
Yeah.
Great picture.
Yeah.
And he made it clear. He's like, that's funny.
Yeah.
But moms are Karens sometimes.
Yeah. See, Halloween costumes get us all, you know?
Yeah.
Guys like me got to worry about dressing up too authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a thing though, where you kind of want to have like the distance separation,
Yeah.
especially with the social media world, which is
Yeah.
why like with my real job, no one knows I do comedy at my work.
Yeah.
My Facebook doesn't have anything about where I work at. I never talk about it. I'm like, that's over there. That's for me to make a living while I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
And I'll share the fuck out of this stuff, but I'm not letting anybody know like what
Your real life.
my you know. So I'm big on being like, yeah, we don't.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Yeah, I'm also big on whenever people are like, oh, like, let's get your wife super involved. And I'm like, she didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, let's leave her at home.
Yeah, like, she wants to be a normal human being.
Yeah.
I'm the one trying to be a funny little asshole on fucking social media. Like, this isn't her thing to get bullied online.
Yeah.
Like,
She's supportive right now?
oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's still getting comfortable. She's getting
Yeah.
comfortable in her wife stance. She's
Yeah.
like, stay home.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those, I've been doing comedy the entire time we've been together.
Oh, okay. So she knows who
she's-
you are.
Yeah, she's used to this.
Yeah.
Like, she's been able to be around whenever it's like, oh, hey, I know it's Saturday night, and, like, we have a thing with your friends, but I have a show.
But my friends are funnier.
Yeah, like, and she very much is like, all right, and she doesn't come to a lot of stuff, but she goes, that's great, you do your thing, whatever.
I like that. I'm more of a codependent.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, where are you going?
yeah.
I want to go with you.
yeah.
You should go everywhere I go. Like
Yeah.
when I'm with a girl, I'm like, where you going? Where you
Yeah.
going? Where you going?
Yeah.
I like you. I want to spend your time with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool that you guys can give each other space.
Yeah. Well, see, the other thing I've learned is if you spend all your time with that person, you have nothing to talk about because you've done everything together.
No, I had a pandemic relationship.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never been in a relationship until the pandemic. It was the first time ever living with a girl, and it's like,
Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you're spending all day, and you're like, yeah, that tiger. Oh yeah, we watched that
Tiger.
together.
Did we shower today?
Yeah, like again, you want to fuck again?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
cool?
We still do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is, oh, your back hurt? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is good to have some shit, and then you can come home and be like, hey, guess what I did? And then she, oh, my mom called me and told me that. Cool. Like,
so I was living with my girl during the pandemic for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we decided to live separately. Yeah, we moved down here. She got an apartment. I got an apartment.
mhm.
And so I keep the dog like during the week.
Yeah.
Just because I don't do anything during the day.
Yeah.
And it has been the greatest thing for our relationship.
Still together though?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. It's like because before it was like we never dated. Like I met her.
Yeah.
I met her when I was living in the van, and then I just parked my van in her apartment complex.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic was happening.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and then we just I didn't move in with her, but I
Yeah.
parked my van in her apartment complex. And
Yeah.
I was sleeping in her apartment.
Yeah.
7 nights a week.
Yeah.
So we never went through the dating phase,
Yeah.
and now it's cool that we get to date after like feel like we're a married couple.
Yeah.
Now we get to date.
Yeah, that was the nice thing. It's like whenever me and my wife met, we were both in college, so like a lot of times, young relationship, you do like people like move in really quick. We're in college like 3 hours apart from each other, so there was a lot of time where it's like, well, you have your place, I have my place, we get together. So like we got to do all the dating stuff,
Yeah.
and then fucking moved down here together. Like whenever we moved down here, is the first time we actually like lived together full time,
Yeah.
and I was like, we're gonna find out if this is gonna work real fast.
Yeah.
Because if we can move across the country away from both of our families and then live together full time and not lose our shit, and we were planning a wedding, I was like, these are very stressful things to all do at once. So if this works out, it's going to probably work.
We could pull this off. We'd probably last a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, we'll probably be pretty good.
Yeah. I'm glad you like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. You know, it's good. I try to talk enough shit on stage so people know I do actually like her.
Yeah.
You know, you don't.
Yeah.
The guy that says good stuff about her all the time, you're like, oh, this guy
Ooh.
cheats.
Yes. He
This
cheats and beats.
This guy cheats on his wife and then hits her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You talk about what a terrible person she is all the time. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that man loves.
Yeah.
Man loves his wife.
Yeah, that's why all of my jokes about her is like this dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
She was dumb enough to marry me.
yeah, like, what a moron, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man, I'll let you get back in.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hell
you.
yeah. This has been
Yeah, man.
awesome. Thank you. See you guys.